Hey, I have my notes here, and I want to talk about how a lot of us can be quite hard on ourselves, and that this can express itself a lot when we are bouldering. Bouldering is a kind of a mind-intensive sport, and I think a lot of us can get pretty hard on ourselves. And I definitely do that, and that's why I wanted to talk about how I've been trying to deal with this and trying to improve my mindset in that area. I'm gonna film the video as if it's a letter to myself that I can look back on and remind myself whenever I struggle to get back in the right mindset. I hope that it'll help someone out there as well. Let's get into it, and I will just have some footage of myself climbing in the background while I talk, and yeah, let's get into it. Mindset hack number 1 is reaching a flow state of feeling like the process is enjoyable and that we're having a good time. That can really be helpful when we're trying to do something. It can just kind of be hard to reach that flow state. It's kind of hard to like arrive in that mindset, I think. So yeah, what I've been doing is that I've picked a couple of memories that have stood out to me as like especially enjoyable, especially flow-like, and I kind of pick them out and remember them and try and use them as something to aim for. And it sounds pretty simple, but I think it's actually been very efficient. For example, I have this one memory that I think is a very good example because it was my first projecting session and I was really enjoying it, and I tried this one project so many times, but I had such a good time. And I think this is a great memory because I was in a flow state, I was really enjoying it, but I wasn't really doing that great for a majority of the project. Like I wasn't sort of moving forward for a very long time on the project, so it reminds me of the feeling of just projecting while I'm struggling, but still kind of enjoying that struggle. And also at the end of the project, I did send the project, and that's helpful because it kind of reminds me, if I'm in a mindset where I'm like, oh, I need to like punish myself, and if I'm in a mindset where I'm like telling myself it won't help me to be happy, it won't like help me to try and like, enjoy the process. If I'm in that sort of mindset, then it reminds me that actually enjoying the process is efficient, and it is actually going to help me do the thing that I'm trying to do. So mindset hack number 2 is to accept your limitations. And for me, I'm not like the youngest I've ever been. I'm not as young and as strong and as like resilient as a lot of other guys out there. And I think in my head, I am. And I think it's really important to really like accept and internalize and surrender to the fact that you have the body that you have the age that you have, and like you just have to work with what you've got. And I would love to be fitter and to be, have a shorter recovery time and whatever, but I don't. And I think a lot of the times in the past, and especially when I was younger, I felt this kind of cosmic sense of unfairness, that some people just had it easier in learning certain things, or like they were just naturally like more athletic or whatever. Especially guys, like it used to drive me insane that guys were just so much stronger than I was without even doing anything. And it really, I still find it kind of like triggering that some people are just so good without even trying. And I mean, that's just life. Life is not fair, and we just gotta accept that. Like we gotta surrender to that fact. And I think I've been really practicing doing that. And for example, sometimes I'll walk up to a boulder problem and I'll feel like kind of anxious, and I think that anxiety comes from feeling like I should be able to do it, and that should is sort of a manifestation of this kind of like wishful thinking that, you know, I kind of feel like I am this like super fit person who's just able to do everything, or like if I only want it enough, I should be able to do it. And yeah, I think and that creates a lot of pressure, right? And then if you don't do it, then it's like you've created evidence for yourself that that's not true, and then you're kind of spiraling from there, right? Because then it's like you've proved to yourself that you're not this superhuman. But yeah, I feel like now, I mean, it's not that I've completely nailed it, but I feel like now I kind of walk up to a problem and I start feeling this anxiety, and I'm like, yeah, no, I can't expect of my body to just naturally be able to do hard things. Like maybe some people can, but I can't, and that's like I just accept that. But yeah, but then all of that anxiety goes away because I know that maybe I can't do it, and that's because I am not some kind of superhuman who just naturally picks up hard moves, and really the only thing left then is just to try, and there's no shoulds and there's no pressure, and there's nothing left to lose at that point. Point number 3 is to accept on a deep level that the other 2 points are true. So I want to illustrate this point with a little story. My latest bouldering session actually is when I kind of realized this, and I was having a little bit of a rough warm-up. I couldn't quite do some problems that some of my friends could do, and I was feeling a little bit annoyed at that, and I was like kind of at the beginning of what sometimes become like a spiral of bad mood, and feeling really insecure and feeling sort of inadequate. And I kind of realized that I have this little voice, subconscious belief in my head that it's helpful to kind of be in a bad mood about it, or that it's helpful to kind of punish myself a little bit. It can kind of feel like trying to enjoy the process and feeling like allowing yourself to feel good about yourself, and not getting too hung up on results, and also like accepting your reality, I guess, at some level. Those things all can feel like giving up, or like you're sort of making excuses for yourself. And I think it's really important to realize that that belief is just wrong. It's being in a bad mood about it, and being feeling insecure, and feeling sort of like beating yourself up and being self-critical about what you can and cannot do is not helpful. It can feel kind of like it's helpful, and it can feel like it's going to motivate us to work harder. But of course, like, I don't know you, but like for me, that it's not true, and it doesn't help. And I think it's really, really important to be aware of that self-belief, or that sort of underlying belief, if you have that. But I think I'm practicing, I'm sort of getting better at just really accepting that that it is true that enjoying the process is gonna help. It's gonna be more helpful than not enjoying the process. And I am starting to accept that being extremely realistic about your physical reality right now and your limitations is gonna help you and not hold you back. And yeah, I think that's just incredibly important. Also, one more point, I actually climbed my first 6C. That's why I put this video in this playlist. And I was in that mindset I climbed that 6C when I was in practicing this kind of mindset that I've explained today. And it's not that I do well every time that I'm in a good mindset. A lot of the times I'm in a good mindset and I still don't do well. But I would say that I never do well if I'm struggling with my mindset. And also regardless of that, it's, you know, the good mindset just needs to be there first. It cannot be the other way around. And I think that's just so important to remember. I've taken a little break from looking at grades recently, and I'll probably go back to looking at them and doing more videos about climbing more 6Cs to continue this series. But I think, you know, it's okay to give yourself a break if you need to. And for me, that was definitely the case. I just needed a little bit of a break to try and sort of ease myself back into the mindset of just enjoying the process and focusing on the moves themselves and just, you know, learning and yeah. But yeah, that was the end of the video, and see you next time. Bye.